iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.
And they now got a lock on the door at the gym of PSA is for. There's the stock room behind McCluskey's bar.
But Mrs. McCluskey ain't a good scout.
And things being how they are, the back of the police station is out. So the billboard garage is the spot. But the $1,000 we ain't got. Why, it's good old reliable Nathan, Detroit. If you're looking for action, he'll furnish the spot. Even when the heat is on, it's never too hot. Not for good old reliable Nathan, or it's always just a short walk to the oldest established permanent floating crap game in New York.
It's been fantastic. Guys and Dolls has been a part of my life since I was a little kid. My father played Sky in high school, so I've always had the soundtrack in the house. I got to play Benny South Street right out of college. No, I was still in college and I did a community theater, and my egotistical 20-year-old self walked into the audition like I was gonna play Sky and got Benny. And all those veterans, my first time working with equity actors, taught me how to be professional. They taught me what it was like to be in rehearsals, and I was like, oh, this is theater. Because I wasn't, around my peers anymore. I was around folks who did this for a living. So Guys and Dolls was that gateway that said, this is what it's like to be professional. So the fact that I get to graduate to Nathan is awesome. And I'm having the best time, and I get to be with my friend and we get to act really silly together. While also, touching people's hearts. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, this show kind of has everything.
I did Guys and Dolls in high school.
Yeah.
But this is the first time
my first time, yeah. I've never done it, so my first time. But it's great. It's great fun.
It's pretty thrilling. I think I got my equity card 40 years ago playing Nicely in Guys and Dolls. And so at least I knew the lines, or I thought I knew the lines. So any shorter rehearsal period would have been terrifying. But it's great to have the 11 o'clock number, Sit Down, You're Rockin' the Boat, is a classic. And to work with old friends, it's just been a joy all week.
Yeah, no, I got to do the show in Chicago when I was living there, and a dear friend of mine, Matt Raftery, was directing, and he was like, would you read for Adelaide? Actually, I think I was supposed to come in for Sarah, and I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, I always loved the sort of the broads, like the sidekick roles who had all like the fun songs and the good costumes, and I thought, yeah, I'll read for Adelaide. So he cast me in that and thought that I could do it, and I didn't think I'd maybe get a chance to do something like that again. So then when this came up and Mark Bruni reached out, I was like, yeah, that sounds fun.
Anytime I do one of these, like, dip my toe into the Broadway world, it's so fun because it's like I'm at Broadway camp. So I get to see all the dancers, and they learn their moves in like a second. So I'm sort of in awe, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be learning lines and stuff. So it's sort of like Broadway fantasy camp for me.
Well, we have like 7 seconds to learn this in order to put it on for everybody in Washington, D.C., so keep that in mind when you come. But it's a blast. I mean, it's all these Runyonisms are so just spectacularly funny and specific, and that evoke the exact right thing when you're watching it. It's great. It's great
There's some
fun.
really good book scenes, and the language is very fun. And even just in the short amount of rehearsal that we've had, it's been pretty effortless just to drop in and get to play within these scenes.
I think I understand the language of Damon Runyon a little better, and how clipped and over elaborate the gangsters speak. It's a very unique pattern and pitch and rhythm. And so I get it more now and I've seen so many productions over the years. And what's really exciting is we're using the orchestrations from the 92 production, which haven't been heard since 92, Michael Starobin.
It's a very fun show. It's a lovely group of people. Some of us have been doing shows for a while since the pandemic. Some of us haven't. So sometimes this is the first time I've been in the room with most of these people.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a whole new group. Everybody's just so game. It's a fast process, but everybody is just so talented and ready to jump into it. So it's really wonderful.
It's from a nerd point of view, it's kind of like the Avengers. It's like you
Do tell.
walk in and it's like everybody's a superhero on stage. You mean like Steve and Phillipa and Jessie and Kevin. I mean, everybody's like a star in their own right. And so to bring them all together, nobody walked in with an ego. Everybody walked in like ready to play and ready to go. And it's been fun. I mean, you walk in, there's Rachel Dratch. You're like, holy crap, but she's so cool. You're like, this is Saturday Night Live, like improv royalty.
Yeah.
And she's like so smooth. And so we've had the best time. So it really is like one of those moments of like stepping into that all-star cast and going, everybody's okay with everybody just doing what we do well and wanting to make the best show. So we're having fun. We're having fun.
At the end of the day, a process like this, you have to remember that you just can't get in your own way, right? So you just have to show up, bring everything you got, try your best, and have a good time.
Also, I've never been in a room with Jessie Mueller or James Agahart or Kevin Chamberlain, and they're some of my favorite New York actors, so it's great fun.
Loves me, he loves me not. He loves me, he loves me not. He loves me. I love you. Push very quick. Shivering like I do.
The first day Jennis Jones got me like moving, I thought I haven't moved in a while. And Mark said something about, he's like, yeah, you play all the sad standing song women. I was like, yeah, I have done that lately.
I was
and then,
joking
like,
with
the last
her.
thing I did, the minutes, like I should just sit down. It was awesome.
I was joking with her and I was like, this is a great show for me. This is a terrible show for Jessie. Because Jessie's been able to like just park and bark and stand and sing and the words just fly in her head. Now that people know that she can kick a leg, it is over for you.
Well,
you are going to
let's not speak too soon.
Let's just
We've
tell
got
everybody.
some
She's
tremendous
looking Will
dancers.
Rogers Follies. She's looking for Chicago.
And
She's
I am
looking
doing my
for.
best to keep up and not fall down.
She's
Let's
looking
just put it
for
that
the
way.
tap dance kid. Just rethink everything.
Is that a thing, the tap dance kid?
Yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real show.
I
It's
thought you
great.
made it up. It's good.
No, I'm not that good.
Well, the score is classic. It's got everything from gospel to jazz and lesser. He can write a song, and you look at all his musicals; they're so different. And Guys and Dolls is ultimately a love story, and who doesn't love a love story?
It's just well constructed. Frank Lesser, Abe Burrows, I mean, they just got it totally right. There's very few. I mean, there's maybe, I don't know, top of my head, 5 that are perfect. Guys and Dolls is at the top of the list. It's just really well executed writing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we've ruined the surprise that I'm playing the big gangster guy. So that was probably the big surprise. I don't know beyond that, but hopefully I'm in a little man suit, and hopefully that will be fun to see.
I mean, the music is sensational.
Sure.
It's got the big Broadway numbers. It's got terrifically written characters.
Yes.
You've got your kind of classic, like A couple, B couple, but all of the other ancillary characters are also beautifully fleshed out. The characters are not one-sided. They're all, everybody's funny. Everybody has heartfelt stuff. Everybody has really great trajectories throughout the piece. They come in as one thing. A lot of them have illusions about love, and then they leave changed. I think it's one of those shows that is super entertaining, but also super relatable. And people have a lot of relationship, like you were saying, with the piece, because it came from our sort of golden age of musical theater. So it's been around, and people have known and loved it. So they bring their own love for it. So we're just excited to be able to just kind of like offer it up back to the audience, say, we love this, we know you love it, and we're just trying to like just share that with the audience.
It's also one of those golden age musicals. Like sometimes you go back to golden age musicals, and you go, ooh, can't really do it, can't really do it. Guys and Dolls it wasn't trying to have an agenda. It was just trying to be a good show and really just talk about relationships. And as long as you talk about relationships in a true way, they'll stand the test of time. Those people who have been together for a long time, like Adelaide and Nathan, and they're going through what relationships that are together for a long time go through. And then those new relationships where you're just meeting that person, trying to date that person, trying to find out, do you guys mesh? And even finding out that your opposites actually bring you together, and that's Sky and Sarah. And I think because it's so real, any generation can look at it and go, okay, I get it. If you're looking at the relationships the way it is, you can kind of take away the 50s moment and all the, the Runyon language and go, I get it. And that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.